G'day, guys. Welcome back to Steelers Nation Australia. I thank you guys for clicking the video. Make sure you hit that like, hit that sub, do all those YouTube things that pretty much every YouTuber in the history has ever said. Hit that like, hit that sub, hit that notification, yada, yada, yada. It does help us. It helps us get the content out there. So do all that YouTube stuff that you know that needs to be done. However, guys, I want to quickly state and start with this. So if you do want to join the membership program on YouTube, I do offer mates rates, which is the first tier, $3 USD, name in the credits, and it's just general support. So if you do that, guys, and you do become a member of Steel Nation Australia for $3 a month, look, you don't have to. You don't have to do it. But if you would like to join that, there's some cool things I'm trying to get in the works with some podcasts, some football fantasy stuff like that. Maybe membership only giveaways / promotions, stuff like that. So if you do want to join, it's a work in progress. $3 for the month, name and credits, general support. And when you do join, you become part of Aussie Mates, right? And if you do join, I do ask that you tell me your favorite player in the NFL. It can be Steelers, it can be anyone else. And also tell me who you think or what position you would play in the NFL if you could play. Yuli wants to be a quarterback. Steelers West wants to be a punter. Brian H wants to be a free safety. And Pepper wants to be a punter. Pepper the punter. So, guys, if you want to do that, it would help me out. It'd be fantastic. But in other news, what do we want to talk about? There's not really too much to talk about. Let's just do a quick review of the Steelers season. I'll be very honest. It does suck when the Steelers season is just done, over, goodbye, see you, mate, catch ya, see you next time. What are we meant to watch? What are we meant to do? I don't really understand. We now go into speculation mode for 107 days. 107 days of speculation mode. So maybe we just do a bit of a review of what happened. 2022 review, revisit some games, go through some memories, stuff like that. Now I'm reading at the moment so you've seen me look down here. If I'm looking here, I'm looking down at the ESPN schedule and stats, that kind of stuff, to refresh my memory. Now it all started back. We'll go back even further. I think, to me, this season's been a real funny one, guys, with, Dwayne Haskins passing at the start. That hit a lot of Steeler Nation too. That really hurt us. To see a young fella like that lose his life the way he did. No one should lose their life that young, 25 years old. Still thoughts and prayers to him and his family. It's terrible. And then near the end of the season, losing a legend that is Franco Harris, kind of like that hurt too. So there's been a lot of that stuff happening. I know that death is a part of life, but still that hurts for this season. So going back at the start of the season, I think it was around training camp time when that happened. And then we went into, if you go back to it, once we got Kenny Pickett in the draft, number 20, you had Trubisky, you had Pickett, you had Rudolph, right? You had all those dudes. And the talk of the town was, do they start Kenny Pickett? Can you throw Kenny Pickett to the Wolves in there, right? Now, a majority was saying, no, just start with Trubisky. I put my hand up. I wanted Trubisky to start. I didn't think that Kenny Pickett would be ready to start, nor did I think that Rudolph would have a chance to. Looking back at it, I believe they stuffed the whole thing up, in my opinion. I think, if anything, you start Rudolph, you'd go and draft Kenny, and maybe you don't even get Trubisky coming in. But maybe he was the right guy to come in. But what happened was Trubisky starts. There is no real quarterback competition. They said there was, but there really wasn't one. There was no quarterback competition. They said there was a quarterback competition. It was pretty much going to Trubisky until he stuffed up. And he stuffed up pretty early. And some part of it may have cost us the season. I don't know. Looking back at the Ravens game, he threw 3 picks. Probably should have won that game. Right? So I'm thankful now that we have Kenny Pickett as our guy. But going back at it, the first game, week 1, was Steelers versus Bengals, and the Bengals stuffed up. Like, that game was a heart wrencher. We should not have won that game. The Steelers started the season 1-0, and there is no way we should have won that game. There is 2 opportunities where the Bengals had a chance to win the game, and they absolutely stuffed up, right? They canned the bed. Like, they missed the field goal, and Minka Fitzpatrick blocked one. So we started out 1-0. Then we had a massive stretch of games where we lost all these games. And maybe these games are the reason why we didn't make the playoffs. New England, we lost 17-14. Cleveland, they beat us 29-17. The New York Jets beat us 24-20. That was when Kenny Pickett came in. So Tomlin and crew said, Trubisky, we've had enough of you. We're done. Kenny Pickett comes in at halftime. I missed his debut. I slept in. That's the one game I missed all year. I slept in. Then Kenny tries to get on the field to Frymouth, throws an interception. The game's pretty much over. He then goes on to Buffalo and gets swept. Like, I mean swept. Buffalo beats the Steelers 38-3. Now, what happens next is the Pittsburgh Steelers host Tom Brady in Pittsburgh. So that could be Tom Brady's probably last game, hopefully, in Pittsburgh, Heinz Field. Steelers won that game 2018, right? Now, that's when Kenny got, I believe he got concussed in that game. Or there was protocol in that game, I'm pretty sure, right? Or something happened to Kenny. He was playing, and then Trubisky came in and won the game near the end. And everyone's saying there's quarterback controversy between Kenny Pickett and Trubisky because he came in and saved the day. That was when Claypool was there too, went down the field. Now, that was the second win we had. Then we had 2 away games. We had Miami and the Philadelphia game. This was a game as well that the Steelers could have won this game against Miami. They went down the field and Kenny Pickett threw an interception to lose the game, right? But along the process, everyone's saying Kenny Pickett's a bust. He can't throw deep. He can't find his targets. He's got small hands. He's Kenny two gloves. He's a bad player, right? After the bye week, once we lost to Philadelphia 35-13, everything changed. Everything changed. After the bye week, I mean, not even on defense, running the football, everything changed. The Steelers won that game versus New Orleans at home, 20-10, right? Pickett had 199 yards. Harris had 99 yards rushing, and Johnson had 63 yards rushing. Cincinnati, we then versed them the week after. We lost 37-30. We go 3-7. Now, here's where the fun begins, and where a chance that the Steelers could have made the playoffs, but they're about 1 or 2 games short, and that's because they lost 2-6 at the start. We beat Indy away, 24-17, right? We then went on to Atlanta. So everyone's saying Kenny's not the guy. He can't do this. He can't do that. He won away in Indy, took on Jeff Saturday, beat them. They beat Atlanta 19-16. The Steelers improved to 5-7. We then, this is a game that you look at it and you see in a big nutshell. You see in a big nutshell, you have win, win, loss, win, 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 win. If the Steelers had won this game, they would be in the playoffs next week with a chance in the dance. But they lost. Kenny Pickett, yet again, concussion protocol, thrown to the ground. Trubisky steps in, moves the ball down the field, pick. Moves the ball down the field, pick. Moves the ball down the field, pick. Picked off 3 times. We lose that game to Baltimore 16-14, go to 5-8, right? Then the next part or the next series of events from December 19, when we versed Carolina, we won 24-16. This was the chance, will the Steelers make the playoffs at a 1% chance? We won that game. We improved to 6-8. The Dolphins continue to lose. The Jets start losing. The Pats start losing. We're catching up. December 24th was Franco Harris. This was a shock to the system again. 2022 year in review. The night before, 2 games before the ceremony, and you're thinking, I can't wait for this game. I'm so excited for the holidays. And then hearing the Franco Harris had passed, and thoughts and prayers to the Harris family again, you're like, man, that sucks. That really hurt Steeler Nation, or Steelers Nation. That really hurt. That's something that I think will hold for a very long time. Because not only did he come so close to celebrating, I guess his achievements. It went from being, celebrating him as a player to then recognizing and celebrating his life. And that was a big change. That was a huge change. So the Steelers won that game. They won 13-10. Pickett threw for 244 and Harris ran for 53. They won that game gritty. And we saw that big pass to Pickett to Pickens, right? For the game winner. That was fantastic. I love that. Looking back at that was just a moment in time that you want to replay again, again, and again, and again. It was so fun to watch. Pickett to Pickens. Boom. Right down the middle. Game winner. Walk off. That was for Franco. Now, here's where it got fun and very, very interesting. We then had 2 weeks. We had 2 weeks where the Steelers needed 6 games to happen. 6 games to happen, right? We got 5 of them. 5. We had a chance to make the playoffs, went from 1% to I think about 5%. In the first week, we won our matchup with Baltimore. We won 16-13, and the other 2 results went our way. Then we have 3 results or 3 games heading into Cleveland, which was a few days ago. And you're thinking, I can't believe it. We've gone from 1% making the playoffs to now having, I think, a 17% chance to make the playoffs. And the only reason we did it in that scenario is because the Jets started Joe Flacco, and they couldn't score 1 touchdown. They couldn't score 3 field goals, 4 field goals, nothing. They lost 11-6, right? And everything comes crashing down. Everything. A good back half of the season, all of it comes crashing down. And that sucks. It does suck, guys. We went 7-2 in the bye, and everything just fell apart at the very end. The Steelers did their business, did their job. And no, you shouldn't have to rely on other teams. You should be going out there winning 10, 11, 12 games. But for this rookie team and how this team started to come back with a chance, the way they did, it would have been so much fun to see them in the playoffs rather than the Dolphins. So that sucks. But that's pretty much, guys, our yearly or 2020 year in review. Now, we can go over a few stats as well. We'll give a few shout-outs to some players. I thought Kenny Pickett had a pretty good year looking at it. Jaylen Warren, of course. Najee Harris, they had some good years. So Kenny Pickett in his rookie year, he played 13 games. I believe he's a 7-6 starter, 7 wins, 6 losses, something like that. He has 7 TDs, 9 interceptions, right? 2,400 yards. Okay. Now, rushing the ball, Kenny Pickett rushed the ball 55 times. 237, 4.3, 3 TDs in longest 23. Now, shout out to some achievements as well to Najee Harris. He's gone now back-to-back seasons with 1,000 yards. So he got 1,038 yards, 3.8 average. Shout out to Jaylen Warren, 77 attempts, 379 yards, and 1 TD. And, of course, 1 receiving TD. Now, if I focus on some of the rookies too, George Pickens had a big year, had a pretty big year for a rookie, and I can't wait to see what he does next year in year 2. He had 84 targets, 52 receptions, 801 yards, 15.4 yards average, 4 TDs. That's pretty big for a rookie, right, guys? That's pretty big. But anyways, that's pretty much the 2022 Steelers season in a nutshell. Can you believe it started with a Cincinnati win? Somehow we won that. We then lost 4 in a row. We won 1, lost 2. We won again, lost 1, won 2, lost 1, then we won 4. So it does suck, guys, but I believe that the future is very, very bright. Very, very bright. A bit like my light up here. Very bright. All right, guys, if you made it this far and you enjoy my content, I think that's a pretty big episode. If you enjoy my content, hit that like, hit that sub. Do all those YouTube things that you know you want to do. And as always, guys, I'll see you next time. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go.